Hi friends, welcome back to China Tech Point. In this video, I will explain Java full stack interview questions asked in Cognizant. First one, which technologies you have used in your project? This is the basic question. Next one, what is a marker interface in Java and examples? An interface does not contain the methods, fields and constants is known as a marker interface. In other words, an empty interface is known as a marker interface. The interviewer may immediately ask, tell me some of the examples of marker interface. These are the some of the examples: serializable, clonable and remote interface. Next one, what are the OOPS concepts in Java? The main four concepts are abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation. Abstraction is a process of hiding and implementation details and showing only functionality to the end user. These are the two ways to achieve the abstraction. One is using abstract class. You can achieve the abstraction using abstract class partially. We can achieve the 100% abstraction using interface. Next one, inheritance. Inheritance is in Java is a mechanism which one object acquires all the properties and behavior of the parent object. Why we use the inheritance in Java? These are the two benefits for code extendability and code reusability. These are the advantages of inheritance. Polymorphism. Polymorphism in Java concept which can perform single action in different ways. There are two types of polymorphisms in Java. One is a compile time polymorphism. Second one is a runtime polymorphism. We can perform the polymorphism in Java by method overloading and method overriding. Next one, encapsulation. Encapsulation in Java is a process of wrapping the code and data together into a single unit. The advantage of encapsulation is it is a way to achieve the data binding in Java because other classes will not able to access the data through private data members. We can use the private data members to restrict the outside the class. Encapsulate class is easy to test, so it is a better for unit testing. Next question is difference between the ArrayList and LinkedList. The difference between ArrayList and LinkedList: ArrayList uses a dynamic array, whereas LinkedList uses a double linked list. ArrayList is not efficient for the manipulation because too much is required. It will number of shifts is required compared to linked list. Whereas linked list is efficient for manipulation. ArrayList is better to store and fetch the data. Linked list is better for the manipulate the data. ArrayList provides the random access, whereas linked list does not provide the random access. ArrayList takes a less memory overhead because it will store only object, whereas linked list takes a more memory overhead because it will store the object as well as the address of that object. It will store both the object and address of that object, so it will take the more overhead compared to ArrayList. Next one, difference between the HashMap and Hashtable. This is a very important collection interview question. HashMap and Hashtable. The HashMap is not synchronized. Hashtable is synchronized. HashMap can contain one null key and multiple null values, whereas Hashtable does not contain any null key or null value. HashMap is not thread safe because not synchronized, so it will be useful for the non-threaded application. Hashtable is a thread safe and it can be shared between the various threads. HashMap inherits the abstract map class, whereas Hashtable inherits the dictionary class. These are the main difference between the HashMap and Hashtable. Next question. Interviewer asked me to write a Java program, move all the negative numbers to the beginning and move all the positive numbers to end. I am opening the Eclipse. This is our question. Move all the negative numbers to beginning and positive elements to the end. Our input is combination of negative values and positive values. In output we are getting move all the negatives from the starting and move all the positive elements to the end. Let's start coding. I am declaring one integer array. I am copy the input values and pass it to the array. This is my array. I am taking one temporary variable int temp. Here I am taking one for loop int I equal to 0, I less than array dot length I plus plus. Now I am taking one more for loop for comparing the side by side elements. Int j equal to I plus 1, j less than array dot length j plus plus. After I am taking one if condition, if ARR of I greater than ARR of j, array of I is greater than array of j, I am swap the elements temp equal to ARR of I, ARR I equal to ARR of j. This is a swapping concept. I am swapping the elements. ARR of j equal to, finally I will move the elements to the temp. This is the closing for loop. Now I am printing the elements. Out.println arrays dot toString ARR. ToString method is used to convert the objects into string format. Save it and run the Java program. Now we are getting the elements. All the negative elements we are moved to starting and we are moved all the positive values to the end of the array. Next question. What is the default bean scope in Spring framework? The default bean scope is singleton. Singleton means only one instance of the Spring bean will be created for the Spring container. This is the default Spring bean scope in Spring. Next question. What is a Spring bean? Any normal Java class that is initialized by the Spring IOC container is called as a Spring bean. We use Spring application context to get the Spring bean instance. Spring IOC container manages the life cycle of the Spring bean and bean scopes and injecting the any required dependency into bean. IOC will take care of all the life cycle of the bean. Caching in Hibernate. Hibernate caching improve the performance of the application by pulling the object into the cache. It is useful when you have to fetch the same data multiple times. There are mainly two types of caching: first level caching, second level caching. First level caching. Session objects hold the first level cache data. It is enabled by default. The first level cache in Hibernate defaultly enabled. The first level cache data will not be available for the entire application. An application can use many session objects. Second level cache. Session factory object hold the second level cache. The data stored in second level cache will be available for the entire application, but we need to enable explicitly. Second question: what is the difference between get and load method? The difference between get and load methods are below. These are the difference between the get and load method. Get method return the null if any object is not found. Load method, it will throw the object not found exception if any object is not found. Get method always hit the database. Load method does not hit the database. Get method, it will return the real object, not the proxy. Whereas load method, it will return the proxy object. Get method, it should be used if you are not sure about the existing of the instance. Load method should be used if you are sure that instance is exist. If the instance is exist, you can use the load method. Next one, what does the Spring Boot application annotation does internally? The Spring Boot application annotation is equivalent to the using of configuration, enable auto configuration, and component scan with their default attributes. The Spring Boot enables the developers to use the single annotation instead of using multiple annotations. But as we are know, Spring provided loosely coupled features that we can use for the each annotation as per the project needs. Next one, how to disable a specific auto configuration class in Spring Boot. You can use exclude attribute of enable auto configuration if you want auto configuration not applied to any specific class. You can see the below example. We are excluding the class enable auto configuration. In parameters we need to pass the exclude attribute. Next one, what is the difference between request mapping and get mapping? The request mapping we can use it with get, post, put and many other request methods using this method attribute. Whereas get mapping is only extension of the request mapping, which helps us to improve the clarity on the request. What is a data binding in Angular 8? Data binding is a communication between the TypeScript code of your component and your template. It will communicate the component and template which the user see. It makes easy to define the interaction application without worrying about the pushing and pulling the data. There are two types of data binding in Angular. One is one-way data binding. Second one is two-way data binding. Next one, what is a string interpolation in Angular 8? String interpolation is a one-way data binding technique in Angular. It will use it to extract the output from the TypeScript code to the HTML template. It will show the data to the end user. Below is the syntax for the interpolation example. This is the symbol we are using to represent the interpolation in Angular. Thank you for watching. For more updates, please subscribe my channel.